Hello and welcome, and let's talk about Litecoin and Litecoin Cash, which has forked and it is open on a Yobit exchange, currently trading in at $2.97, and you're getting 10 per Litecoin, which means per Litecoin you are getting almost $30 right now at market prices. Again on Yobit, I talked about this yesterday, how I was originally planning on moving my funds onto a temporary wallet and then using the private key on that to get it. I decided not to do such and figured if there ever was going to be value with these coins, I would do plan B. And my funds are mainly on a Trezor wallet. And I also have families on a Nano. Therefore, what I'm probably going to have to do, I'll go over to my parents and send all my funds on the Trezor wallet to theirs, and maybe my other ones, ZEC and Dash, I can send them to exchanges and forth not. But Litecoin and the Bitcoin, I can move on to those hard wallets. And then after I'm done that, the balance will be nothing on my Trezor. So I get my 24-word phrase, get the private key, then get the key, go to a Litecoin Cash wallet and send them to an exchange. Now I heard originally it's going to take some time before you can get it, so I'm not going to do it until I know for sure that I'm going to be able to at least sell it off that day. But when I be able to do it, I go on there, I get my few thousand Litecoin Cash, send them to an exchange, and then sell them off. And of course, then after that, set up a new hardware wallet. So the Bitcoin and Litecoin that I'd move, I put back. And then I'd probably do the same thing with my families with their Litecoin as well. And I think with the Nano Ledger, when I was setting it up, it looked like it was relatively easy to set up a new key anytime you wish with one. So I think it would be relatively easy to take all of them, move them onto another, and just keep on shuffling them around to get the free Litecoin Cash. With the Trezor wallet, I have no idea within the one I have how I would get a new 24 key code. I'll obviously try to figure it out as I move on, but yeah, that's looking like what plan B, it's going to have to be done because the value of them will be just too high for what I own. Now this price is going to move very volatile. It did reach in at $8 and it was even under $1 as well. So the movements, it could be, who knows how this is going to play out on a couple different fronts, both the short-termish, which is the next few days, where this thing could just completely collapse, might be 20 or 30 cents. This thing could go over $10, 12, 15, 20. When 20 just doesn't make much sense. But even on a more longer term time frame, when you look well into the future, maybe when we do see Litecoin in the area of say 5,000, maybe we will see maybe $100 or $50 Litecoin Cash on top of that as well. So those are some interesting things to think about, because if you want to play and hold, you have what you're risking worth $2.82 each. That could be worth 28 cents. It could be worth $28 well along down the road. Let's then move on to the Litecoin chart against Bitcoin, which has retraced 61.8% from the breakout rally on February the 13th. And there's so many different variables to look at. We'll start with a very, very short term. And within today's action, there was obviously a significant one move drop that has so far stayed as the bottom. It's in the consolidation of that event. It has retraced about 50% from the high to the low, and then it has retraced about 50% again from this low. So it's showing a lot of indecision within its move. Obviously, you've already established its original resistance at 207 and changed closer to 208. So any moves up towards there, that would be the big decision test, because you know breaking above that, you can go back and probably retest these previous highs in at about the 213 handle. And then if you break down below the support, you'd be lucky to find support in at this 200 level. and maybe pierce a little bit deeper, because as far as additional Fibonacci is concerned, there are so many levels. There's the breakout lows, then there are the lows from February, the ones that came all the way down to the 130. It would have key support in around the 180 mark as far as that one. Then you get the more bigger one, because all it has done on the more mid-long term time frame is from this move have a decent rally, go sideways for a good chunk, have a small decent break above this, so you have a small move higher back to where you came from. So that's where it stands now. It's already back to that area, and lifting off from there, that's a strong sign if it does such, and I think it's going to do so. The Webbot has also been talking about some things that have been worked really well with a lot of the crypto coins, and really at the end of February is when a lot of things are supposed to take off. Because now I want to talk about just the miscellaneous altcoins next within this video. So let's move on to say just a random one like Lunar, which is just because it starts with the letter L, it's where my alphabetical list happens to be near. But a lot of these other alternate coins are showing a lot of these bearish patterns, a lot like this. And you're getting a lot of them doing the exact same thing before, where they'd all rally like this. I've talked about a buy low, sell high strategy. And when you're doing this with several coins, like many dozens even, you're going to run into situations where you're just going to notice that they're all going to come into sell situations together, because you're going to have moments below the 18, moments above the 18. And when I look at this game like any type of game theory game, and this is most certainly in that line of game theory, and it's game like Magic, the Gathering, Risk was a fun game. They're all based on turns, domination, winning, and all that type of stuff. That's how I look at this set. So you have the bears versus the bulls. The bears are bringing the market down, and the bulls are bringing the market up. So when price action goes down below the 18 average, like we've seen in June and July of last year with this particular coin, that means the bears were in their turn. And you buy when that's the case. Then when the bulls are having their turn, you sell. So the bulls had their turn starting July the 11th and ending August the 12th. And the bears had a huge long turn from August the 12th through the middle of December, where pretty much all you were doing was buying with very little selling opportunities, November 10th being the most obvious day if you had your sell order in. So the bulls have their turn from middle of December, which ends pretty much either, you can say either January 9th or January 28th. And now the bears are in play. And they've only had their turn for a little bit. It could end soon, and it may not. But the bulls will have another turn again. And then the bears will have a turn. Then the bulls. And guess what will happen after that? You know what I'm not gonna say it, you know. Let's take a look at some of the ones that are not doing so well over the last hours. Burst is down 5% for the day, and the day's only a few hours in. So let's bring that up. It's taking a while to load. It's loaded. So we have something on the daily time frame where if you had your sell order in already, you're able to buy it back. Price action is in a code which has just went sideways, flattened out. And you have the situation of once you have a good move in here, which I guess started back a few days ago. Nice little rally, sideways move, nice little rally, and a much, much bigger correction. That when you consider this low up here, this high, you could probably consider there could be more downside room action. And then just another quick random one, VIA. I got to do another series showing the later letter one, so I know I haven't shown this one at all recently. And when you look at a pattern like this is like relatively easy. You just let the Fibonacci do the work for you. So the first level, there's many layers of Fibonacci. You got the low of December and you got the recent high. And you're looking for what would be a 61.8% down move, and you'd be guessing you're looking at about 228. Then you have Fibonacci from this high back last summer and this low. We see a retracement up to the 61.8, and for it to come back down, again, you'd be looking at around the same number area. And as far as even further information, you got Fibonacci from this high and this low. So let's calculate this. 669 I can see on a bottom, so 670 on the round. And 84,000. So 84,000. Let me just read some of the lows on 888, 617 I seen. So 617 and 83. Key numbers are basically 12,007. Well, that would work out. 12,761 and 26. Okay, so I'm just trying to envision this and how it should look on a normal chart. See, the 26,000 represents a 76.4% from this low and this high. And the 61.8%, which I see at 12,761, is all the way down here. This is painting an interesting situation. I don't expect it to go down this low. I suppose I can take a look at this on CoinMarketCap and get a better logarithmic chart. And within such, we can see that just exactly how high we are here within the relation to this high and this low on this logarithmic chart. And in here, it doesn't quite show the same thing, because again, a move down to 14,000 would be here. Okay, that's Litecoin Cash at $1.41. Wrong tab. That was a Reddit post rather. But 14,000 here would be like, we'll be down this towards this low. Now maybe it might come back down towards there, but what's interestingly worth noting is that whenever this thing gets going, it has sometimes fast moves. From this low here, it didn't have that great of a rally. From this one, had a decent one. But notice from this bottom in June of 2016, fast rally higher, and then another leg higher. And then this one here, which was March of last year, after it just shot up instantly. And then even again within the December rally, it just shot up fast again. So I would be really thinking that there's a decent chance that whenever it's ready to go, that it's going to do such. But we got this high here, which is obviously, it's a higher high from all of the previous ones, matching the original ones. And then a bunch of series of lower highs and lower lows to get to this low, which is obviously a higher low from all of these, significantly towards such. Where if it does break down below here and say hypothetically find support at say around 11,000, then that would be a higher low from, well, 3,000, because that's where the last higher low came from, is 3,000 Satoshi. So it could easily break 14, maybe go to 6,000 or whatever, still make a higher low along the way. Don't know how it would play through, if that's what's going to be the case. But after that series of lower highs and lower lows, it has a decent enough rally, which makes it a lower high to this point, but a higher high to several of these lower high down moves, matching, of course, in here. Hasn't done much since, so it's got a lot of that neutrality on the short-term time frame. So I can't really make any type of statement to where we should be, like what the best play right now happens to be, because if it's going to break down from, say, this range, I would have to think it's going to go down further. This is over the last month. So that's the bottom end of this range. We got about 32,000 with an upper end of the range at 45. Down target of about 25. Which would take us to about right in here. I can go back to this chart again here and take a look at this on a more shorter term time frame this way. So 25 would take us down to about here. Now overall, what was my fib range? I got 32 and I got a 3-time hit top at, like, that's closer to 53, and that's been hit like 4 times, so I'm gonna have to count it, even 6 if you count the almost got there point in January the 8th. So let's recalculate. 53,000 with the support at around 32. So now we got it to 22,000. Okay, let's switch this from 4-hour to 400-minute. And you need to have the pro version for this particular time frame. I like this as it's the next one shorter from the daily. And of course, this represents the 5-day moving average. And 22, which would be going back to within this area. It's also like a 61.8. So let's take a look at this Fibonacci as well. We're looking at a low of about 12.6 with the same high. So that's 22,000 again. So that I'm going to confidently, in confidence, put a buy order in for about 20. Because it's going to pierce below a bit extra, so 22 down to the psychological 20 number. All right then, I guess as you've already seen, the video will be entitled Litecoin Cash and VIA. I'm going to have to be on the, maybe getting a free amount of coins. I didn't think Litecoin Cash would do what it has done, but it obviously has. So thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.